getting everything up at this point for you all. No, not that. There we go. Alright. Yeah, sorry about that. I just needed to reset my internet. It was a little, I'm in the red for that, so I wanted to reset that before we started, but I will head over to Bummer.
I'm kind of seeing. Oh.
Dang. Yeah, I just need to reset the internet before we start since I was seeing red on the connection, so yeah.
You were seeing blood.
Yeah. Well,
You're the that murder somebody, you just go, alright, before I take in the court, I gotta clean you up first.
Well, so I am very excited for this upcoming case. We're pretty much in the final stretch now at this point, and 2 has been knocking it out of the park, so I'd say we continue on at this point, so...
No. You're not in the final stretch. You're not in the final stretch until case 5, my friend.
Okay, but if you said these 2 were like heavily connected as basically a final chapter.
I'm being pedantic.
Okay.
You're confused. Okay,
thanks,
you know what? I'm just gonna play it.
Look at that. Look at that title.
Twisted Karma and his last bow. So let's get a move on.
Let's go.
It was indeed the most bizarre born of advertisement and a commonplace killing at the edge of town.
Pipe in hand, Sholmes looked down at the thick, rolling fog outside our window. I wonder exactly how many mysteries are out there, hidden within this bed of fog, he said. Indeed, a most bizarre incident, born of a curious advertisement. A hellhound's mad gallop through the shadows of a serial murder, an executed man's graveyard resurrection in the dead of night. And a commonplace killing in a small, forgotten room at the edge of town. There is, naturally, always another side to every case, of which most remain ignorant. And it is that other side which compels me to the scene of the crime, Wilson. So quickly now, take your hat and let's be on our way, my dear fellow. For our adventure is not over yet. Come, the game is afoot.
And apparently everyone in Britain has red hair from that one screenshot. Alright. 8 days after the earth-shattering trial and Kazuma regaining his memory, we were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Great Waterloo Hotel. Oh.
Oh, rich people places.
Wow.
Wow.
Professor Mikotoba is due to arrive at any moment.
Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time.
Sato hasn't been the same since what happened. Not that I'm surprised.
The truth about Kazuma-sama's father. Do you suppose my father knew?
That he was actually a mass murderer? The professor, you mean? By the way, chat, let me know if audio is good, and because I noticed it a little bit last time, if audio ever gets desynced in the game, please let me know. That's a really easy fix, at least in theory it should be. I just need to actually know, because I can't hear that on my end, kind of deal, so, yeah. I knew that's what she was thinking about. And I also mean it just throughout the stream, kind of deal, not just at the beginning as well, for the desync part, because it can sometimes happen over time. There's a good chance, I'd say. I mean, they did come here to London 16 years ago, didn't they?
Yes, that's true.
Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Mikotoba knew Kazuma's going missing in Hong Kong as well?
That's right, but for some reason he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it.
That probably means he knows then. about Cosmo showing up here in London with amnesia, and that you regained his memory now.
I think that's Mikatoba.
Ah, there she is! Oh!
Look at these dappers.
Surprise! The judge is also here!
Father!
He doesn't look right outside of the gown, honestly, for me. It's really weird. Hello, Susato. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. We're delighted you arrived safe and sound.
Now, here's the thing, right? I don't think we're appreciating this moment enough. An Ace Attorney judge is outside of the courtroom. He has a character model. He has a life outside of his job. He's standing right there. This is a historic moment in Ace Attorney history. You will appreciate
Hello,
it.
Mr. Naruhodo. Very kind that you took the trouble to meet us here. Oh, no, not at all. It's my pleasure. God, I have 3 characters to voice here at a time. Oh boy. We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news has crossed the seas. Oh, it
How's
has?
it feel?
I always look forward to reading your monthly reports that arrive on steamships on Britain. Oh, I see. Well, thank you very much. Who is this man, and why do I feel like I've seen him before? I take it from your expression you can't quite place me. In that case, how about a little reminder, Seshiro? A firm tap should do it. Yes. Firm tap? What? Here we go, then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, guilty! Oh, you're...
Him, the Lord.
Your Excellency!
Actually, you know what? I lied. This is not the first time that
Yeah, it's happened in investigations, if I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about investigations.
I don't blame you.
He is the first judge with that dapper outfit.
He's got that going.
Hello, Judge Jigoku. How are you? It's been a long time.
Good. You remembered now. That really did the trick. Guilty! Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there's no laughing at the time. So, London again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. To be honest, I never thought I'd be back. Neither did I. Didn't imagine Japan would ever been invited to an international cinema like this. Though really, I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It's all thanks to you, isn't it, Cheshire? You're gonna say something, Jason?
Oh no, I was just, it's pronounced symposium.
Oh, symposium, sorry. What are you talking about, Eugen? How many times have I left already? Of course, Judge Goku, you must be complete set. The other man who 16 years ago came to London with Cosmo's father and the Professor Mikatoba. He's the 3rd visiting scholar.
Alright, question. How long does it take him to get ready in the morning?
Yes.
I see.
Well, with all the passport and luggage searches at the border took a rather long time. I must say, I'm envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go far for any of that, did you? You knew you were jealous. Sorry, ministerial status? Yes, didn't you know? Seshiro here is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. It was his personal instance that allowed you to take Cosmo's place here on your study tour. Guilty as charged! Oh, thank you very much. He really is every bit as important as he looks. Ah, yes now, Naruhodo. I received telegram from Strongheart yesterday. Oh, you did? It appears that some things came to light in the trial you were involved with 8 days ago. About what happened 10 years ago. That tragedy. Yes. Could any of you tell us more about it?
Have fun.
Now, if you want to help, I can take a character for you. You want?
How long is this scene? For the...
That's a good question, actually. I don't remember. Sophie?
Okay, if you want to take Mikotoba, then, for this scene, feel free.
You
Alright.
can take the judge.
So, how was your voyage here?
Well, excuse me. Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anyone's standards.
But it wasn't bad, was it? We first came 16 years ago.
No, that's true. And I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time we followed the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience.
So you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris.
We did, yes, but only for one night. Yesterday evening, we left the port of Dunkirk for Dover.
Just in time for the Syndom. In fact, it starts tomorrow. Sorry, how's it pronounced again? Jason?
Symphonium.
Symposium.
Symposium, okay. Just in time for the symposium, in fact, it starts tomorrow.
It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father.
It's thanks to Cicero here. 16 years ago, he managed to integrate himself with Britain's Attorney General. I'm sure that's why he was invited. I suppose you could say I'm something of an appendage by default.
Speak for yourself, Eugen. You were close friends with the professor of forensic science at the major hospital.
Yes, well, I would not dredge on that up, really.
No, there's a lot of water under the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back. Cosmo's father, I suppose. Professor, the killer who took the lives of 5 members of British aristocracy was actually Cosmo's father, wasn't he? That's correct. Genshin Asogi. Genshin...
You knew, I presume, Father.
Yes, he was a close friend at the time.
Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard. He never understood what drove the man to commit such a heinous act.
It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth, and he was executed with little ado. To this day, very few people know what really happened, even in our homeland.
But what about Kazuma? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father? No, of course not. He was told his father passed away from sickness.
However, I suspect he may have had his doubts.
Oh, why?
As you know, I tried to guide Kazuma growing up as if he were my own son. Then one day, he came to my office at the university and said,
I think we
I've decided.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've decided. I want to travel to Great Britain and study there.
Do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death?
I don't know. But when I looked into his eyes, I did know that there was no way I'd be able to stop him.
something else came to light in the trial the other day, actually.
Oh? What?
Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and being missing for almost a year, Kazuma has since turned up in here in London, working as an apprentice for Lord Von Zeeks.
What?
What? That's news for us! So, Lord Strongheart's telegram neglected to mention that part then. As you know, we both thought Kazuma died on the steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January.
But he didn't die. He's alive. As you knew, didn't you, Father?
In actual fact, no. What I did know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished.
We sent in a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try and ascertain what happened, but to no avail.
But he's still alive? And here in London, you say? I never dared to even dream of it.
Why on earth would that young man make no contact? The government and the police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now!
Well, it seems he was suffering from amnesia.
What? Amnesia? When we first came across him here in London, he didn't know who either of us were.
I see.
He only regained his memory 8 days ago. This is unbelievable.
Yes, it's quite miraculous. I wonder why Lord Strongheart didn't let us know. I must speak with him urgently.
I wonder how Kazuma's been these past few days. Would it be wrong for us to go and visit him?
Wait, I'm gonna say, wait, there's one more thing you have to do.
Yeah. It began 16 years ago now. It's a distant memory, really. It was Yujin here, Genjin Asogi, and myself. We were the original three. The first judicial scholars from Japan to cross overseas to study.
Ocean voyages were not what they are today. I can tell you that.
16 years ago, things were tough for their generation. Your father was an exceptionally fine medical student at the Yumi University at the time, you know, young lady.
Yes, grandmother told me.
He went to do research at London's hospital to study autopsy, practically unheard of in Japan.
Yes, it was an eerie place, sandwiched between the back of a prison and a burial ground.
No more talk of graves. Very often, there's no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy report.
So you see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prison.
Not my cup of tea at all.
Do you remember that Scottish prison governor?
Caden.
Caden, his name was. He was a good man.
Yes, but of course, in our 6th year here, everything changed with that dreadful case. When Genshin was arrested for a series of most gruesome murders.
I simply couldn't believe it. No, I know the man for years.
I was a witness to the secret hearings and tried to speak in his defense,
But you went a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you?
well, suffice to say, after that trial, we were sent back to Japan.
There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly.
Okay, audio delay. Alright, then going to... Boom, boom.
Susato's sad for the audio delay.
Okay. Alright, let me know if that's good now, Brandon.
Oh.
Well, you excuse us now.
Yes, I'd like to get my trunk to my room as soon as possible. Oh, I'm sorry. Shouldn't have held you up here for so long.
I'll call for a porter then. Just wait here. Zoom!
Sasan's gone off to run.
I like to say it talks more, but I do have various preparations to make for tomorrow.
Yes, of course, it must be a big responsibility representing us for an entire country. I wish you the best of luck.
Naruto. I hope you'll keep an eye on Susanoo for me. Keep looking after her, as you obviously have been.
Oh no, I mean, if anyone's looking after anyone, it's her looking after me.
Well, I do appreciate you being there for her, after all. I've been a miserable father to her. I thoroughly let her down.
Sorry? What do you mean?
Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study tour here in Britain, as you know. The very year Susanoo was born.
Yes, I've heard.
The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but... well, sadly, it was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life, too.
Oh, man. I saw it and had something like that.
Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. The point is, I became rather less dependable than befits a grown man. And it was then that Setsuro offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain.
I was too worried about you to leave you behind. So perhaps I was a little heavy-handed when it came to pursuing you to accompany me to London.
So, that's what happened in a nutshell. And that's also the reason why I now feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. Though the world does not readily afford young women such things, I must say.
I completely understand, Professor.
Ah, one other thing, Naruto. If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask you.
Oh, really? Of course. What can I do for you?
Well, the thing is,
I'm so sorry it took so long.
Mr. Sato, and reuse character model.
Hey, remember me? I was the owner of the of service with carriages. I guess I must have got a fire for my job, but now I'm doing this job.
Now then, allow us to take your bags.
Allow me to take your bags.
Allow me to take your photo. One moment, did you please, Porter?
Of course, sir.
He's drinking on the job. He's drinking on the job. Man, my life just hasn't been the same since I got fired. I don't know what happened. We were doing great, and then one minute our whole company got bought out, and they gave me the boot. I don't know how that happened. I don't know
That
why
machine
it
around
happened.
your neck, it's a camera, I believe. Quite right. Just 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir. Well.
Sorry. Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expense.
Yes, of course.
Duh. I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Mr. Naruhodo. It really made Father very happy, I think.
Oh, well, I'm pleased then. But we were interrupted before. Professor Mikotomo was about to ask me something.
Shall we return to Baker Street then? I expect Iris will have some delicious tea waiting for us.
Yes, let's go.
Yes, let's go.
No.
I'm getting more and more anxious about Cosmo, though. Perhaps I'll try and meet with Lord Strongheart later and ask him.
I was trying to tell you earlier that before you continue the conversation to present your badge to him.
Aw, damn it! Okay,
Are they even still at the...
yeah, then I'll try and remember it, later on, and then, like, go back to this one, sort of deal.
Alright. Iris,
Like,
we're
what's the
home!
general gist of what he says, kind of deal?
I
No, I never seen the dialogue.
Oh, okay. The fuck? What was that?
A man screaming in the most unflattering way.
Do you think... Could it have been Mr. Sholmes?
Oh my, I do hope not.
Alright. Alright, Patrick, who do you want?
I'll take the guy on the right, I think, for this one.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Okay. I don't do it anymore.
Mamma mia. Still disgraceful display. Who are these people? Look at their hair, it's bright red.
I think they must be clients of Mr. Holmes.
Right, you two, you're coming with me now, down to the clique.
No! Not in prison! It is dark and damp, and I don't like it!
Oh, the darkness, it is my friend. Now you're not scared.
Oh, I don't know how to say that, so I'll just say wait. But you're always scared of the dark!
Shut your mouth, idiot! I will quietly in the dark and plan on getting a scared.
I don't like this! I don't like it!
Well, Tush, we'll finish this down at the yard. Now get moving! I'm not dragging you down the floor!
Bye then, Genie. Have fun!
Oh yeah, thanks Iris, and thank you, great detective. Now get your asses over here.
Sheila makes a fine detective herself, doesn't she? Oh, Susie and Runo.
I'm just gonna act like that didn't happen at all in front of us. Hello, Iris, we're home.
Well, did you find your daddy? Yes, we arrived at the hotel just before he and his friend. Oh, well, that's great news. I hope I get to see my daddy again soon. Yes, of course.
Dr. John Wilson.
So, Iris, on the face now, on the face now, it's the greatest of problems, known to man.
Oh God!
Red hair shows.
Oh my... Oh. Jason, you know what you did.
I know what I did, and I don't regret what I did.
Oh no!
I already liked Sholmes up to this point, but when I saw this for the first time, I held on this image for so long because it's like it's two of my favorite things.
You held on Wendy's girl Sholmes for a very long time, is what you did.
I took every time he switched poses, I took a picture. I needed the red hair from all angles.
It's really distracting me because his hair is like way different saturation than the rest of his body, so it looks like a fucking mod.
I was like, yo, just take me right now. Just do it.
He kept sending photos in the DMs!
I kept spamming the DMs with red hair shows. It's great. It's fantastic. Look at my man's right here. Look at him with the red
But before we
hair.
concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea is in order, don't you, my dear fellows?
Thank you.
Just because you told
Why?
me to eat it. It's something wrong, Mr. Naruto. Do I have a crumb or such like on my face?
Not so much on your face as on your head, I'd say.
Come along then, everyone. I brewed a lovely special blend. Time for tea.
Also, what are you doing with Cosmo's mask on the table right over there? What are you doing with that?
If you examine it, maybe you'll find out.
Whatever is going on here today.
I
I
did
just
not
wanted
sign
to
up for
have a
this.
nice voyage with my dad and Sholmes being Sholmes again.
In that
I don't
case-
know if I like this or not.
I love it. I don't care what you like. In that case, let us sit down and drink now. For I am, in fact, expecting a guest later today.
That's Cosmo War when he was assigned to Lord Strongheart's apprentice, Lord Von Zieg's apprentice. Sorry. Whoa, sorry. When it got to his side after the trial the other day, I just sort of picked it up.
We gotta give it back to him, I suppose.
But he has a memory back now, doesn't he? And I can't help feeling he might turn around and tell me coldly to wear it myself.
But isn't he your best friend?
Yeah?
Gay lawyer.
Susanoo, yes, and that is why he has the power to say that.
Also, I like to imagine Van Zieg's doing that entire scene where they were just talking in Japanese. Yeah, what's going on?
Mr. Sholmes, who are the two gentlemen that were here before?
Oh, just a pair of petty criminals. Nothing of significance.
Oh no. I just thought of something.
No!
We must experiment and find out.
I need to see it.
Does it work with this? I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, God. I'm not sure if I need this in my life.
You know, it doesn't look as weird with.
Yes.
It's just fucking cosplay.
Yes.
I think we're just gonna keep this on for at least this scene, just because it works with the red hair. I think a little bit better. The other one is just kind of cursed as hell, honestly.
Well, hang on. If you excuse me for a little bit, hang on. I need to take. Yes.
Oh my god!
Yes. Of course, they had to make something. They're making living somehow. I'm just over here, and we're gonna do that.
And what the mood takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to the matter of all infractions.
Now, can you just take over for a little bit, please?
I can do that, sure. Sophie?
Oh. When the mood takes you, I'm still flabbergasted.
All matter of infractions?
That was the quickest fitting room change ever.
But when such fellows set their sights on Mr. Sherlock Holmes, well, that's when their luck runs out.
Oh my, you were a target of a crime, Mr. Sholmes.
But I quickly devised a plan to entrap them and deliver them to our young detective ally.
Come on, I know you want to pose again. Do it. Do it, you sexy beast. Do it.
Hi.
You should have asked Gracie to come too. We should have a resting tea party.
I did send word, but no answer was forthcoming.
I think Rinosuke gave the sword back to Kazuma.
Yeah, I think so. The man conspicuously in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. Aha! I have it! A bungler! That's the word! Good job he's not here to hear you say that. So those redheads have been up to no good?
I wonder what the men did.
What about the great problems known to man that you mentioned before?
Is it another fiercely intricate case, Mr. Sholmes?
How should I best explain it? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection, perchance? Well, I think I've heard talk of it somewhere. Possibly.
It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was newly proposed 40 years ago now. According to its author, Dr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops.
Wait, what? We were apes? Indeed. And after the very moment those apes descended from the canopies to live as humans, it had been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man.
You don't want more.
Stop.
I will kick you out of the skull right now, Jason, if you don't stop simping for 5 goddamn minutes.
Would you stop simping for her like Shomes? For 5 minutes!
I waited a year for this moment.
I had to suffer through it. Twice.
Arlott, what is this great problem, Mr. Sholmes?
Why, is it not obvious, my dear madame? The problem of rent! Ah.
But didn't you not receive a rather large sum of money from Madame Tinsfell only the other day?
Pshaw, a large sum? One potted herb for Iris and a new motor car for me later, and all of that has quite disappeared, I assure you!
You bought a car.
Honestly,
That makes-
Harley, you know you squandered it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes, well, anyway, 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to man's greatest problem, for the coming month at least. And what was the answer? Why, there's a substantial clue. Before your very eyes. Also, Holmes, what's going on with your eyebrow right there? If you look closely enough, like one part of it is not glowed red.
Oh wait, I don't.
Oh yeah, you're right. I see it. It's right
I don't
there.
know if it's just his costume messing up, or...
Oh dear.
It's like right in the middle of his eyebrow kind of deal, like right above his eye.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Do tell me. Let me see.
Humans are sorry creatures, unable to see what's in front of their noses. Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe me closely. For there's one particular feature about my person that has changed, and you shall notice it in the end, I think. In the end? It's been stabbing me in both eyes from the very beginning of our conversation.
I think we might need another clue before we uncover the full answer, Mr. Naruhodo.
Thanks for the hint. I'll be tearing my hair out if this charade goes on much longer. Mr. Sholmes, isn't it time you told us the truth? Just over 1 week ago, you said to us. Well, it's the appropriate costume he was in at the time.
It's sadly canon.
Yeah, it's a good thing you took the costume back on because it's accurate.
That case aboard the SS Bureau in January, Kazuma wasn't killed, and you weren't. You knew he wasn't dead the whole time. So what's really going on?
Okay. The fellow was. Excuse me. Hang on, I gotta turn it off. The fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he God dang it, he did what I wanted!
If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have been in mortal peril.
There we go. Got it. Thank you. Thanks, Sholmes. Of course, a side effect of the prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you now know. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew.
But how?
After they carried him away, after they carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area. Then I made them swear to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship in Hong Kong as a murdered corpse.
Oh, how horrible.
It was necessary to find some material with which to persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course.
But why? Why did you do that in the first place?
I would be at liberty to elaborate in due course. But for the time being, I would like to reassure you. I didn't foresee subsequent events.
What events?
His disappearance in Hong Kong.
Oh.
I believe I may have made a gross error of judgment.
Mr. Sholmes?
So anyway,
Anyway,
we gotta find that clue.
This looks like last week's edition.
What's the article circled in red ink here?
It's in an advertisement column. It says, "The Red-Headed League."
The Red-Headed League? What's that?
I don't know. I never heard of it before, but...
is something on my face?
I feel like this describes the energy in this call right now. This screenshot right here.
Oh, don't worry, I grabbed it.
Clearly,
Susato,
this has something to do with that lively hair.
that face is offending me.
That bold, proud personality on display.
That's literally the bruh. That's literally the bruh Susato right there.
Bruh, bruh.
It looks as though someone circled the advertisement in the paper, Mr. Sholmes.
To the Red-Headed League? Does that strike you in some way?
I was thinking that just maybe, it might be related to your bright red hair.
So, allows you to apply that message, Mr. Naruhodo.
Sorry?
In the first instance, inquiry is indispensable. Observation.
Believe me, I could have seen the hair with my eyesight.
So then, allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits.
Regale or boast?
Yes.
Please don't tell me there's gonna be a logic theater about that hair.
This is fucking Herlock Sholmes.
If Brandon, if there was a logic theater about this red hair, I would have ascended to the moon.
So what about the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you circled?
You noticed it in the paper then? That, my dear fellow, what's going to be the source of this month's rent payment?
It was? How?
According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows for unspecified governance. In fact, the only condition for being a member is having red hair.
That doesn't entirely surprise me.
But listen to what the lucky redhead receive once they join. An unconditional salary of £4 a week. Oh my, £4 a week?
But why? Why are they paying people for?
That I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement.
But surely every red-headed person in the country would be flocking to join in that case. You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put in my application at once. So will I. Just on the off chance.
That might be stretching a point, I think.
This is out of the red hair. Let's go.
The trouble is, they might have a fixed number of members, you see.
Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people are joined, no one else can.
But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away. Say it with that face!
It wasn't particularly lucky for the redheaded question, I feel, Mr. Sholmes.
So you decided to join in his place?
Correct. I mean, look at me! Have you ever seen such a red-headed fellow?
No. But maybe that Maharu girl in Danganronpa too, you know, maybe her. She has very red hair as well.
Maharu.
So why? Why did it have to go so wrong?
What? What on earth happened?
My hands. I'm not nervous now, Hono, though it pains me to admit it.
I want in this outfit.
What did you actually do with your hair, Mr. Sholmes?
I'm glad you asked, Mrs. Otto. What you see on top of my head is either dyed nor a hairpiece.
I am worried about the response.
I changed the color of my hair overnight. By the wonders of chemistry!
Chemistry?
I was conducting some research into a method of rejuvenating with the tea leaves. And in the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that would take it, turns wood hair aflame like red. Would you like to try it? It will make every hair on your body perfectly crimson. Your head
I think I'll pass.
Every hair?
I don't want to know what down there looks like with it. Please, no.
Your hand it over.
But Mr. Sholmes,
Stop!
is it-
I will kick you out of this call, I swear to God.
But Mr. Sholmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it?
Amateurs are always hampered by such fears. I agree.
Oh, I should never doubt you, Mr. Sholmes. You mean to say?
But of course, the 2 or 4 pounds per week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger.
That degree of red signals more than just a little danger, surely.
So anyway, Harley left in full confidence yesterday with his new red hair. Or the park in Lime Street where the Red-Headed League were interviewing popular new members.
So what went wrong?
The whole park was choked with red-haired folk, like a coaster's orange barrow. I queued for 8 hours solid before at last I reached the front. But when the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, "Ah, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation?"
Me too.
So naturally, I had no choice but to reply, "Shh! Don't give me away!" After which, I could do little else but turn and leave. Then this morning, when I looked in the mirror, irritation stirred within me. So I turned that pair to the police.
Oh dear, what a disaster for Hurley and those 2 redheads.
So he just arrested 2 people because they didn't get him a job? Was that it?
No, there's more to it. For those 2, there's more to it than that. But at the time, that's what it sounds like.
I think you're simplifying things, but
Mr. Sholmes, you mentioned before that you were expecting a guest today?
Indeed, Mrs. Otto. That is correct.
I'm not one of those redheaded gentlemen we were here before.
Not at all. They were pretty villainous. They were petty villains. They were pretty villainous. The guest I am accepting is a client.
Oh?
A young gentlewoman who wishes to approach the services of this great detective, no less.
Oh, how wonderful, Mr. Sholmes.
You must stay and observe the fashion in which your great detective receives his customers.
Must we?
I have you in my clutches now, Rich. Just as I have you in my clutches, redhead.
That hearty laugh is masking a rather sinister thoughts. You know, the lady is due for another hour yet. Don't feel as though we must wait around to have other things to do.
Am I able to go to another place now at this point?
wait. No, I don't think so. Wait, I think something should happen. Shit.
Do I gotta examine something?
I also tried. See, I know what
Story
happens
about
later.
it.
I don't know what you immediately do after here. But
Oh, okay, we do move.
Oh wait, we're doing this now? Oh,
Oh!
okay.
Hey, yo, thanks, story mode.
Badass.
Okay, hold on. First, we're gonna get Sholmes' other costume back on at this point.
Get him out! Get him out!
Patrick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna at one very specific point. I'm gonna have to ask you to turn it back on.
Jason, no! No!
No, it's turning off. It's turning off. Okay, God. But also, before we load that back up real quick, I do want to just quickly speed back to that part at the beginning. I just want to quickly speed to that part, just so we can present the badge.
The badge. Okay.
Yeah. Since we had to exit the game anyway right now, so like I figure I could do it now. We can just speed right through all this dialogue.
Yo, Grace Attorney speedruns. Yo.
Yo, look at these pro strats.
Hey.
Look at them standing.
Yo, we do play AGDQ.
Such riveting gameplay. Visual novel fans say, yo, this is fire.
Yo, look how fast he's moving.
Look how fast he's absorbing all the information. This is optimal Great Ace Attorney gameplay.
Yo, he absorbs information at 4 times the speed.
Yo.
Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. Is that the badge? Professor Mikitova, I wonder, could I show you something? Why do you seem so nervous? I suppose I'm a student showing something to a professor. That's quite nerve-wracking. Well, I'm sorry to perturb you in that way, but anyway, I'm afraid I have nothing useful to say about that, really. Ah!
Oh, that's disappointing.
That was lame!
We run it for that. Oh. Don't.
Your father's lame, Cesaro! I lie.
Here's the final
Anyway,
draft.
back to the ass.
Here's the final draft for the opening address at tomorrow's proceedings. I've supplemented your original with the figures you asked me asked for the yard.
I see. Oh, excuse me. Excellent work. Thank you.
You're welcome, my lord. What's Lord Van Zeeks doing here?
My, there seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air, wouldn't you say?
This place is stifling enough as is. We don't really need any more tension.
My apology. I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress makes you all but invisible to me. In a bright room.
No, it's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure.
From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come here.
Now then, Mr. Naruto.
Yes, my lord, I'm right here.
Actually, Sophie, isn't Fedor Naruto wearing all white?
Hmm?
Like, isn't Fedor Naruto wearing his same outfit, but it's just white instead of black?
Wouldn't be surprised.
Probably somewhere.
Kill me now.
Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you.
No, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced the room at such a perfect temperature.
You're sure you're sure the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise.
Because of the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly.
And you're no doubt aware, my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madam.
Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. It's extremely honored to have been invited.
I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands, then, Lord Vazix.
I will attend at once.
You.
I'm watching you, please.
He gave you the recruit stare as he left, didn't he?
I know, but I haven't done anything. Have I?
These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still in service?
Mr. Naruhodo, he's talking about Dr. Sipes!
Oh, of course. I'm terribly sorry about that. I was just,
Fear not. You've done nothing wrong. Dr. Sipes wrongdoing precipitated the situation. You need to concern yourself with it any further.
That would be a lot easier if it weren't for the piercing stare you have given me.
Lord Vazix is doing an admirable job of holding the fort. Though disturbingly, his appearance has been missing since yesterday.
Apprentice.
His apprentice
Oh!
been missing since yesterday.
Missing?
What's become of Kazuma-sama now?
But he went to McDonald's.
I told you to not ever go to those golden arches, ever!
No. He goes to McDonald's to buy the chicken nuggets to specifically throw them in the trash in front of the employees.
Kazuma. The fuck?
I
Why
think
did you
that's
gotta be that guy?
he doesn't like chicken.
Is that how you're gonna change the justice system? Is that the grand plan?
It's his personal preference.
You know, rioting at one McDonald's is not going to change Britain's law. I'm sorry.
But it will make me feel better.
Kazuma, you're no better than the fucking Rick and Morty sauce people from McDonald's. I swear to God.
But the
The
difference
Szechuan
is,
sauce.
the difference is I'm silent about it.
You're just throwing the chicken nuggets out!
Yeah, but I don't make a scene. I just toss them in the trash
Because
can
I
and move
know-
on.
You threw your katana into the milkshake machine, didn't you?
Why do you think the milkshake machine always doesn't work?
I feel like when we get back to Kazuma, he's just gonna be an asshole when we come back to him. Britain has changed that man.
Man, being unconscious has really changed him.
That's not my boyfriend anymore.
That was just Kazuma. Not my boyfriend now. He's my boyfriend.
I've seen his true colors now. That's not the man I fell in love with.
Okay, move on. Move on.
That's one of the louder laughs I've heard from Sophie in a while. Wow.
I know.
Just keep going.
Done. Alright.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright. I'm good.
Alright. Not long ago, visitor numbers to the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million. 30 million.
30 million? Are there even that many people in the world?
As companion, Mr. Naruhodo, the population of the imperial capital of Tokyo is 2 million.
I will be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition's main auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making. 2 years of preparation and negotiation with other countries.
And how will inside people in Britain learn how to fuck it up somehow for you? Sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations.
The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques. and cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential. Which is why this landmark first symposium had to be hosted here at the heart of our great British Empire, in order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World.
He's the same as ever, I see. That passion is quite something.
You're every bit as passionate in your own way. I'm sure, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh yeah, no, he'll be passionate when it helps him. I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science.
Mr. Jones would like to say otherwise.
Meanwhile, Jones over here. Oi! I heard that!
And Iris as well.
It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. So the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions. I first established a forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Scythe at the helm, it was steadily occurring an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department.
And can you not do that now?
Actual good question.
Yeah.
Obviously, nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep this story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's investment in the field by a good 10 years, I say, and it's Naruhodo's fault.
Well, sorry for doing my job.
I'm sorry if your entire system was built on corruption or something.
Like, this one man from Japan came in and exposed the corruption and set back this plant by 10 years.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We simply could have overlooked what has happened, though. Maybe.
Of course not. We should be grateful to you both. Yeah, grateful. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way.
About Lord Von Zieg's apprentice.
I've had to come in here and stick your nose. Yeah. Yes, that came as a surprise to me, I must say, that you and he are old friends.
How did he come to be an apprentice of Lord Von Zieg's in the first place?
It came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large good vessel.
Oh my! So he stowed away to get here?
He had no papers to identify him, no passport. He was suffering from amnesia too. Other than the fact he was clearly of Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Van Zieg's. That way I could keep an eye on him.
But then, why the mask?
I didn't want to burden Lord Van Zieg's with tiresome explanation about why he had an Eastern appearance.
Because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask?
Also, didn't it look good on him? Come on, you gotta. I don't want to hear that from you. He was proving to be a great help to Lord Van Zieg's. I almost said London Van Zieg's.
London Zeeks is
Falling down. I'm sorry to close this bridge with my great heel in this court. I beg for your forgiveness.
I have high hopes for his future.
By the way, do you know where he's gone?
No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being.
Wait, hold up.
Oh.
So, only just to come back in case 5 then,
I take it you also didn't know that the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, I mean.
Aww.
So cute. She had to bring it up.
Yeah, alright, let's talk about this.
What we learned from the trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was...
Yes. Genshin Asogi. The professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain.
They were such awful murders, and our predecessor, using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon. Dogs!
Right as you said that, I heard my dog upstairs barking, and he is not anything ferocious the slightest, so...
That you know of.
Oh, trust me, I know. He can't even fight a squirrel. That dog can't. That dog is not.
Yo, GG's when a squirrel can take you down. And no one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government. So the true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then. It can't be made public now. Nobody in your country knows it was him. Neither do the citizens of London.
The main motivation was to avoid aggression relations between the two nations at the time, I understand.
Correct. However, it has to be noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause.
What? Supporters of a mass murderer?
The majority of the man's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. Oh, so a fair few figures in London believed anyway.
Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it?
It seems very similar, doesn't it? To the idea of the Reaper of the Bailey.
Anyway. No.
No.
I think we go back now.
Yeah, okay.
We essentially
Look,
just
look,
went
Schultz is inside his hair. I don't know what's going on. Could you tell us more about this?
Lord Vanzig's like Vortex. Come on, like, explain this, please.
Ding-a-ling-ling.
Here's my guest now. My name is Clay with money to spend.
At least you changed.
Ooh, I do hope it's an exciting case, Hurley.
You see, the other one is his, like, bathroom gown kind of deal, and now he's getting properly dressed at this point. Is what's going on.
Listen,
Look,
is it how relaxing?
I like to imagine that the kimono he's wearing is just borrowed from Naruhodo's wardrobe.
I think it's bits of Naruhodo and Susano's that he just made in the one outfit kind of deal.
Mr. Naruhodo, Mr. Zano, please, may I borrow these? Wonderful, thank you.
And then just Iris has to make the other two outfits as a sorry, like, kind of deal.
You know what? If you get those outfits, I would accept the deal.
No, you just, like, how I imagine it takes place in my head with the fact that Shoals runs up the stairs with both outfits. He stands that count bar them before they can say, he's like, wonderful, thank you. Then runs down the stairs, and then later on we just hear smaller footsteps of Irish walking up the stairs and just goes, sorry about Shoals, and then walks back down the stairs. And then they both know how to almost stare at each other. They just go back to work. I'm like, yeah, it's normal around here.
All right.
Ooh, I do hope it's an exciting case, Hurley.
Remember, Iris, we are at present gripped by the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept any case, no matter how unstimulating. Say locating a runaway, of course.
Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you?
Oh dear, I'm afraid that Hurley came to like a little tap. Especially just before the rent is due.
Oh,
Mr. Sholmes, Herlock Sholmes, please, oh please! Please find my husband! He ran away!
God damn it. My day be so fine, and then boom, run away.
Oh God, it's me, Sholmes. What do you hate me? Too upset me?
I beg your pardon?
Never mind. A personal matter. My apologies. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. Naruhodo?
I didn't say a word.
Come, my dear madam, be seated. Iris, some tea, if you please.
Of course. La 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 la.
What's the matter, Mr. Sato?
Oh, it's just that this gentlewoman. I feel as though I've seen her somewhere before. Very recently.
Guys,
I was actually getting ready to ask. I was actually getting ready to ask that. Is this another reused model, or is this actually the same one? Because I couldn't remember.
It's the same one. She's juror number 2 in the last case.
Yeah.
Which it's like, guys, do you not remember the people that you saw like a week ago? Come on. It's like, now you come to mention it. We're in the same clothes and everything, guys.
I mean, to be fair to them, it's still they have to care about their client, not the jurors.
No, they do have to care about the jurors, though, considering they have to go through the whole thing of convincing them. Checkmate.
As I explained earlier, my name is Evan Vigil. I implore you to take the case, sir. Money is no object. Simply name your figures.
I get the
Wait, hang on. Say your name again?
Ever Vigil.
Oh.
Yeah.
Alright. Money and wealth are a little consequence to me, madam. Being offered a cause to solve isn't hard enough.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you a picture of benevolence?
I will, of course, make a mental note. I will, of course, make a mental note of your offer, however, for contingent reasons. I trust you will remember your words, also.
If I might inquire, sir. These gentlemen and lady would be.
Oh, me?
What am I about to tell you? I should like to communicate with you with strict confidence, you understand?
These are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair, you prefer this pair anything, which you may say. You know what? I read that so weird. My brain got confused for some reason.
I see.
These are my friends. I assure you, you may say before. Okay.
I can tell if you wanted to read the line again or not.
I can vouch for the gentleman. Personally, after all, he's hard of hearing.
Why did I ever get my hopes up?
Alright, then hold on, you do the talking.
Forgive me for asking, Miss Vigil, but have we met somewhere before, quite recently, perhaps?
Oh my!
For sure, my dear fellow. What is your intention? Clearly, you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of the English. If you wish to invite the lady to tea, you must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion.
Is it possible? That you're the nice young lawyer from the trial I attended last week?
I knew I recognized her.
Oh, that was quite a fun affair.
Oh man, that was a 4-hour
Remember when you
affair.
realized that our entire system is complete bullshit?
Oh yes, one of my favorite trials. Oh yes, exploiting the government.
Huh? I didn't quite recognize her because she's acting so differently now.
It must be very difficult for you as a lawyer, being hard of hearing, I mean.
Pardon?
Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Don't worry if you can't hear. It's very really nothing more.
Look at what you started, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I've been in that position. In that position, I mean, the one that started it, and the friend had to suffer because of my actions.
No.
I believe it. I believe it would be imperative for you to sit quietly in the corner.
Yes. Which is why I'm going to keep talking to her right now.
Tell us about your husband, madam.
Miss Virgil, my Dally is 40 years of age. I have a photograph here. Look at this fabulous pun.
An entirely unremarkable gentleman, by appearance at least. How long have you been married?
It'll be 15 years of this year. We have a cordial relationship. My husband's income is more than adequate to live quite comfortably.
As it would appear, I need only look at you to know these things.
Oh gosh!
Your dress is the latest style. Your hat clearly regularly groomed, and your eyes are animated. In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct?
That's right, he's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty. You had a dotes on me.
Which would point to the possibility that he has become embroiled in some incident or other.
Oh, that's exactly what I fear must have happened, Mr. Sholmes. I'm quite beside myself. My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see. What if he incurred some miscreant ill will?
What exactly is your husband's line of work?
He's a warden at the prison.
A guard? That's somewhat usual. Somewhat unusual.
So, your husband is a prison warder.
That's right, yes. Well, in actual fact, he is the chief warder.
Indeed? I see. Well, chief prison warder certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation.
Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare to... Oh god, please. Okay. Those dreadful punishments. See if they are carried out.
Private A, yeah, warder is a prison guard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dreadful punishments? Does she mean capital punishments?
And at such time, he must occasionally spend a night or two in the prison's dormitory. But for that extra responsibility, he remunerated more handsomely than the other wardens. Of course, we make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbors.
Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged?
Barclay Prison, Mr. Sholmes.
Really? Barclay? Oh, a fine establishment! If I'm not mistaken, there is a large cemetery just behind it.
Yes, that's correct. Locate Cemetery.
No. Locate Cemetery? The very place we were discussing in court? That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable, my dear fellow. And yet undeniable.
Sorry, Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid you lost me.
Ah, pay no heed, madam. Pay no heed. A private matter.
This can't really be a coincidence, can it? Ah, that's the end of an Ace Attorney game, buddy. Everything's connected at this point.
So, to the matter of your husband's disappearance, when did you realize he was missing?
Please try not to laugh. It was yesterday.
I'm sorry? Yesterday?
That really is recent, laughably so.
The truth is, my husband does his time occasionally spend the night away for his work. It's not all out of the ordinary for him to return home at night, but this is different. Even for him to not make any contact for the whole day, this certainly never happened before. Oh, my dear darling, whatever could have happened?
Well, Private, yes and no, kind of, because, like, some cases, like, there were plot lines that carried through for other cases, but some other cases were kind of very individualized. But, like, some were connected, like, 3 and 5, but yeah. Okay, let's continue on.
My dear Miss Virgil, please calm yourself. Now then, have you contacted the police?
Why, naturally, but sadly, they refused to listen to my pleas as my husband only been missing for 1 day. I was asked to wait patiently at home.
Wait, hang on. What? Wait. No, I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at the names side by side. What? Daily Vigil, E-Vigil.
No, I got the Evie Vigil. What?
Evie Vigil, Daily Vigil.
The Daily Vigil I'm not getting. Because every vigil is pun on every vigil. Got an Ever Vigil.
Sophie, is there a pun there? Or am I overthinking it?
Daily Vigil, it's supposed to be a reference to his occupation?
Oh, well, I guess, like, Evening Vigil, like Daily Vigil.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I see her pun more, the woman's pun as Ever Vigil, you know, like, always alerts and stuff like that, kind of deal.
Evening, Daily Vigil, yeah.
Anyway, let's continue on.
In truth, Miss Vigil, I concur with the police. However, let us not be hasty. I see no reason why we should not engage in my detective powers to track your husband down anyway.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Shaw.
And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the greatest problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. I seek only to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That's really all there is to it.
You have my eternal gratitude. I shall pay any sum you care to mention. Ooh la la.
You seek only to put this suit's rent in your landlady's purse. That's all there is to it.
Thank you for everything you have shared with us, Miss Vigil. I believe I have all the information that I need to begin my investigation.
Oh, please report to me soon with the good news, sir.
Fear not, madam. In a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a haunting report. I'm quite sure.
See you so soon. Oh, how splendid, Mr. Sholmes.
Good news should be delivered early, I always say. And you would be so kind as to leave the photograph of your husband in my possession.
Wait, there we go.
Thank you. Now, allow me to show you the door.
I can't thank you enough, Mr. Sholmes. You must be simply marvelous.
Hey, the red viola is over there now.
Yay!
I'm out. You know, I think that every time Hurley. But how do you come up with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two. Are you sure?
I can't be sure, of course, but then I didn't swear on it. I merely gave the good woman some hope. I hope to be able to give her good news, one might say. After all, the rent must be paid by the end of by the end of the day tomorrow. And by that time, I successfully located Mr. Virgil. We shall be mutually relieved. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo?
Don't look at me with those fleeting eyes.
Don't look at me with those big old eyes.
Well, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case?
Yes, my hearing is surprisingly good, actually.
Excellent. And what do you make of it?
Well, I'm surprised to learn where her husband worked at Barclay Prison, I mean.
Ah, so you noticed that.
Of course, especially with the mention of Lowgate Cemetery.
Hello, it's me again.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Great Ace Prison is where the notorious man was incarcerated.
I don't know why. Because I'm thinking of his goddamn bots that were attacking us last time. You guys might have noticed chat has been changed up a little bit because Twitch added in a verification thing where an account needs to be confirmed by an email or by phone in order to chat in the room. So I have that on to basically make sure we don't get hit by the hate raid stuff again. For the time being, so if you notice changes in chat, that's why. Professor.
And now a warder for the prison has mysteriously disappeared, it would seem.
It's all very peculiar.
Indeed. But nothing you can't handle, I'm quite certain, Mr. Naruhodo.
Sorry?
Run along to the prison and see what you can glean. Would you? It's the prison governor you want. No doubt the man is equally worried.
But aren't you gonna do it yourself?
Surely you need to ask. I can't possibly be seen up with this hair.
But didn't you go to Lime Street with that hair?
That was quite a different matter. So, I leave it in your capable hands. Now, if you excuse me, I'm rather busy.
I'm out.
Of course you are.
Alright, with that, I was told that dinner is ready, so I'm gonna be eating some food.
Alright.
I'll be back.
Let us know when you're back.
To prison!
Woo! Barclay Prison is on the outskirts of London, packing the lonely burial ground. Its four high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office in the watchtower. Well, that's a morbid as fuck lock over there, dear God.
Oh, this takes place like a month ahead of us. Nice.
Huh? Oh.
Oh, hi.
This place is full of hardened criminals. I can remember the last time a civilian was down here. And you didn't walk in, inmate, but me. Jesus. Do you know who I am? I'm the governor, Marlon Gaiden. Oh, yes, it's a pleasure. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. An Easterner, I see. Does that mean... Yes, I'm visiting of the Empire of Japan. Japan? Did you say Japan? Yes? Well, there's no any of your kind here, laddie. Maybe you should try the prison next door. I'm gonna try and go for, I think, my best Armstrong voice for him, because the face is kind of similar for me right now.
I didn't notice another prison next door, sir.
Anyway, we came to ask you about some questions about... I didn't like the sound so direct, but... I have no intention of speaking with the likes of you suspicious-looking Easterners. Now get out of my ear! So as soon as he finds out we're from Japan, he reacts like this? That surely means...
I think it's because of the professor's case.
You think so too? 10 years ago, Genjin Sogi, as known as the professor, was incarcerated at this prison. We've said this like 3 times this case already, guys. Then, after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery behind the prison. I might have known! You're sniffling about the case, aren't you? Your agent, part of the professor's great web, no doubt! No, not at all, we're just... Go on with ya, before I punch your lights out! We're going! Clearly the ghost of that killer still haunts this place. We're not gonna get anywhere here. Unless we can somehow prove to this man that there's nothing suspicious about us.
Governor Cardin.
What are you thinking, Miss Usato?
I feel as though the name came up in a conversation recently somewhere. I was wondering if whoever mentioned it might have some idea to help us.
Come to think of it, I have the same feeling.
Hint, hint.
Yeah. That was, I think, at the hotel. Who was where?
Look at my little newspaper.
Is there anything on the other side here? No. Okay, just Mikatoba.
He's vibing.
That's Professor Mikatoba over there. Hello, you two! I was just taking a moment to catch up on the world now that I'm unpacked. But where's Judge Juko? Jugaku, sorry, a little bit. He's not relaxing the sort. He's taking himself off to pay his respects to all the legal bigwigs.
Have you only just arrived in the country today? Goodness, he's full of energy.
Professor, you mentioned something before about how you know the governor at Barclay Prison? Oh, Governor Kaden, you mean? So it's the same man.
Father, we must speak with the governor. But he refused to talk to us. He said you were suspicioners.
Well,
He's a racist.
I'm sure if I accompanied you, it would be a very different story. Oh, would you? That would be wonderful if you have the time now. Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment. Busy drinking coffee at a comfortable seat? No, I'd rather have a lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know. Oh, sorry, I didn't say that out loud, did I? Mikatobas are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts.
Or it could be that you, Naruhodo, are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts.
Let's not fall out now. I have an idea. What's he writing on that piece of paper? Here's a letter of introduction for you two. Hopefully when he sees my name, he'll change his tune. Thank you! Good luck, then. Back to my newspaper I go.
You might have to drive your way back to a prison, drive your way back down, and then back again. God.
If you just cast your eyes on this, Governor Kaden. What's this, then? You can't pull out the wool over my eyes, you good-for-nothing Japanese student! Mikotoba. That young jock of Forensic Science Laboratory, that Mikotoba? Yes, exactly, him!
Oh dear, perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Yujin Mikitoba's daughter, Susato.
Jigs! You're the young man's daughter? And ye think ye mentioned it before?
I do apologize.
Hey, well, you best take a seat then. Can I offer you an old cup of tea, perhaps? A dinner tried to forgot of these handcuffed biscuits! Your father's influence is nothing short of amazing.
I'm barely regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now.
You wouldn't have to drive all the way there and then back. So then, what can I do for you then?
Well, we were currently investigating the case.
It's one of your warders, I see. He's gone missing. Missing?
That's right. It surely's been reported to you as well, being a prison governor.
I've heard nothing of the sort. There's no missing persons in my prison.
Oh?
But how can that be?
It's Mr. Daily Virgil, your chief warden.
Vigil? That's right. His wife came to us and asked to investigate his disappearance. Let's skip the part about him going only missing yesterday for now. Clearly that means something for him.
You'll be so kind to tell us what you know, sir.
Hey, of course.
What is that clock?
Yeah, I want to know where the hell did he get that. We understand that Mr. Vigil is the chief warder here at the prison.
By the way, I'd like to point out that at that point, this was the trilogy Sightlocks would appear there.
Yeah, totally.
That
that he was. Strong sense of responsibility and dedicated to the job, no doubt about it. He was a fine warner. Sorry, did you say was? Hey, he doesn't work here anymore. He left his job.
Oh my!
When was that exactly? There's quite a question. What was it about? Can he have been much less than 10 years ago now?
What?
10 years ago? That's when he stopped working here 10 years ago? Hey, as I mind it, you haven't heard of the fella's name in a long time. That's a word that he's gone missing, though. But Miss Virgil made no mention of it.
I think perhaps, Mr. Naruhodo, that his wife simply didn't know. I think she's unaware he's been no longer works here.
Governor K, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Vigil give up his job here? That's important, isn't it? Yes, I believe it may be.
What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo?
I can't help wondering, given that it was 10 years ago. Which was exactly when the professor was being held at this prison.
So, Mr. Virgil actually assigned from this position of chief warden 10 years ago, you're telling us? What happened to make him leave the job?
In actual fact, he didn't want to leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter. You mean he was dismissed? It was after a particular walk. Sorry, a walk? Hey, that's a poor word for it here. A walk to the gallows. An execution. It's the job of Chief Warden to prepare the gallows tree and oversee the executions, you see. Only Vigil did something unthinkable on that last walk he was manning.
What did he do?
I'm sorry, but I can reveal that information. But I can tell you that it's very rare that a Chief Warden to be relieved of his boast.
Alright, I'm back for real.
But why wouldn't Miss Virgil know about it? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here. I wouldn't know anything about that, I'm afraid.
Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstance of his dismissal?
And what would that be, then?
That last execution that Miss Virgil was responsible for overseeing. Was it by any chance the professor's?
I thought exactly. I'm sorry, I really am. But I'm at no liberty to answer that.
I see.
Which basically confirms it at that point.
Your silence is a yes.
Yeah.
My father came to prison all those years ago in order to study forensic medication. But you seem to have been well acquainted.
That dead room, the prison, and the cemetery have a lot to do with one another. After all, they need fresh corpses for the forensic research, don't you know? Yes, I can imagine.
The advancement in medical science isn't always particularly plausible.
Your father's worked in the laboratory just from the far side of the graveyard, in the basement of the signers. It's still in use today. Start signers. That's come up before, I'm sure.
Yes, that's right. We've been there.
Mikotoba and I have to use the ride to carriage together and negotiate terms. For fresh materials, I suppose. Hey, we used to sit down for hours and gab at the dissection of sorts. Oh, that takes me back. Over a pot of tea and baled biscuit, tough biscuits, of course.
How charming.
He was a good fellow, your father. Reliable and dead set on his work. But I'm afraid I'll never understand you Japanese. Because of Genshin Asogi, I assume. Well, I cannot tell you anything else.
Thank you so much for your time, Governor.
Oh, one moment before you're away then. I'm sure I have it here somewhere.
That's a toucan.
He also has an axe on his belt, I saw. Ah, I found it! Here, take it with a souvenir when you visit the prison.
What is this?
That's Vigil's dismissal notice. It's 10 years old now, of course.
Oh my! Are you sure?
Hey, it's no trouble after all. It's not original, mind. Thank you very much, Governor Caden. Well, in return, do me a favor and never come back here. That case is closed.
Damn.
Well, I think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being.
Yes, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Shones with what we found out about Mr. Vigil. I keep wanting to say Virgil all the time. God damn it.
Yeah.
What will you tell him, Mrs. Virgil, I wonder? No, yeah, we do have the Virgil emote, so if it needs to be used at any point, you guys know what to do. But first, oh, am I not able to? Okay, I can still access court record. Relief of his post. Immediately violate cause over His Majesty's prison. All right to redundancy pay and other financial folks have been revoked. Aiding and abetting the escape of prison convict blank just before his execution. Details of his escape are being investigated. Full cooperations with inquiries to be expected. Additional indications of the jailbreak flaw was conceived prior to the convict's incarceration. It's believed that the convict engaged in some form of negotiation with the prison staff in order to secure assistance. Full disclosure of information regarding these negotiations was demanded.
Plot thickens.
Has he gotten it out of his hair now? We're back!
Hello, you two. I thought you'd be back before long, so I baked some scones for us all.
Oh, that's so delicious.
And this is why I would ask you to turn it back
Listen,
on
no.
real quick.
No.
I'm not going out! I'm not going out! I'm just making a separate save. For later on. We'll put it back on later.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Greetings, my dear fellows. Oh, wait. Is the blue actually more saturated? Because I remember that blue actually being darker.
They maybe have changed it for the collection. Possibly.
Wow. I guess more saturation, I guess. Or
I mean, neither of the hairs look like they belong at all, so, you know.
I mean, I think they had to compress the graphics for the 3DS, so this might be just the original
Yeah.
stuff and then cleaned up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Hello, Mr. Shum.
Say nothing. Your thoughts are written all over your faces in any case. It turns out that it may be advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before application.
No. Oh my.
Pray, tell me, what of our water friend? Have you garnered some new information?
Oh, yes. Something surprising like that, in fact.
Ah!
Wait, what? Oh no.
Huh?
I put on the email there.
Is it not actually on?
Is it not? Or is this just...
Hold on. Hold on, I go into my...
Or is this just...
Hold on. I'm going to my dashboard right now. Fuck.
Is this... Huh?
Problem is, I can't tell if that's a real one or not. Let me go.
It doesn't show when it was created, I guess.
Oh, this account created 21 hours ago. Banned.
Yeet.
Yeah, banning that shit now. Okay, I'm just gonna have the Twitch page on minimize for right now. Okay.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And
Oh, yes, something very surprising, in fact, though that's not patched on your hair, to be honest.
It most certainly isn't. But still, we discovered that. Sholmes!
Oh!
Drop everything, Sholmes. This is important.
Gina?
I can't have believe it. What happened?
clearly a very grave matter indeed. For Miss Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever.
It's the boss.
What do you mean, Inspector Gregson?
The boss is... He's dead!
Oh, fuck! What?
They just found the body! Shot with a pistol!
What?
But... Inspector Gregson?
He was murdered?
No, Grexy.
Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story.
The Excuse me? I'm sorry? What?
Yeah, I had the same reaction.
I didn't think Gregson was a character you actually fucking kill. Oh my god! Wow!
This just went from a 30 to 100 fast.
What the fuck? Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Gregson was he shot?
I don't know about what happened myself yet. They're still there and investigating the scene.
Where did this take place?
A little rented room in the building full of flats of Fresno Street.
The outskirts of town, nowhere near his home. He was perhaps investigating a case then.
The thing is, no one at the yard knows nothing about no case around there. Oh, how strange. The boss was so good to me. I know it ain't much yet, but one day I was gonna show him. I was gonna show him I'd be a proper detective. Oh, Jeannie.
No, wrong one. Fuck.
Whoops!
Slapped her. Hold on. So who did this? You have any idea who the culprit is?
They got him already. Already?
They caught the shooter so soon?
The witness reports something going on, and the boys got straight down there and took care of him.
I swear to God if it's Cosmo.
Who? What other person did this? I still can't believe it myself. Gina. It was the Reaper.
Oh, wait a minute! You don't mean they arrested Lord Von Zeeks for it?
That's right. The Reaper Brock's gone. Gone and shot the boss.
No! Lord Von Zeeks?
Are you quite sure, Mr. Strayed? It's Baroque Van Zeeks the police have arrested.
I saw it with my own eyes. An interview with the yard. I don't believe it. But there were witnesses, and I all saying it was him. So you mean there was actually multiple witnesses? There are gunshots apparently. And when the Lots got into the scene, there was only the boss and the Reaper bloke in the room.
There's no way Lord Von Zeeks would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it.
I don't believe it either.
Thank you for informing us, Mr. Strayed. This really is most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry.
What do you got to say sorry for? They didn't do nothing. Anyway, I'm taking a cab over the scene right now. Please come and all, as soon as you can. You gotta help.
It's a detective's lot to appear wherever some sinister plot has unfolded. Little wonder we all had. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves.
Mr. Sholmes?
Well, you should be a great detective. I failed to see something like this coming, huh? I'm gonna let this happen to Gregson! To Gregson! Mr. Naruhodo, I shall leave at once to begin my investigations.
Of course, yes, we will too.
It would be helpful if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you intended to do so anyway. Until later, then.
Inspector Gregson dead and Lord Von Zeeks arrested.
Bruno, Susie, I called you a Hanson. It's waiting outside.
Thank you, Iris. Shall we, Miss Susato?
Yes. Oh, okay.
Holy fuck!
And it begins.
What? Oh my god. Okay, that was a lot to take in all at once. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like
Rex is
Lord Von
dead, and
Zeke's,
it-
like Lord Von Zeke's, being put onto trial at some point. I kind of assumed that would happen because that's just a prosecutor thing at this point if they're gonna become a good guy. But Gregson actually being dead was one I did not call at all on that. Go ahead.
Same here. I didn't see it coming. So I'm going to get the first time. I have it my joyous holler.
You're taking selfies!
I was taking selfies, Sophie. Can you blame me? I like the character. I was having a good time. Then the game says Gregson's dead. I had to go. What?
We were warning you!
You know what, Sophie? I'm sorry. I was enjoying myself. I'm sorry. I was having fun with the video game, and the game said, "All right, fun time over."
Well, you know what,
like
Lord Von Zeke's is at least making most of his time right now. He's getting some reading done.
This is like essentially killing Dick Gumshoe. You don't do that.
No. Here's the thing.
Especially
No.
because Gregson was probably my favorite detective in the series, honestly. So, like, God.
Did this series ever killed Gumshoe?
No, well, I guess we've had one detective before, kind of, but,
Sort of. Technically.
There he is. Lord Von Zeke's behind bars.
So it's true, he really was arrested.
He's sitting with his back to the wall reading something. I don't think he's noticed us. Lord Von Zeke's? Fancy meeting you here. The last place on Earth I like to be. The last person on Earth I like to see. Couldn't very well not come. We heard what happened. That Inspector Gregson was. Go home. This has nothing to do with you. But
Forgive me, Lord Van Zeeks, but I must disagree. Inspector Gregson was very helpful to us on a number of occasions. We're in debt to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find out the truth about his death. You must help us with our investigations, please!
there's really nothing I can tell you. What you were reading was just on... What were you reading just on the back of your cell there? Was something related to the case? This... The yard isn't quite so caviar with information as to share case details with the suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance.
Oh, who might that be?
Someone you know, as it happens, Albert Hebre. Of course, yes. I keep forgetting that when they went to the same university. And I would like to read my own correspondence in peace. So let's get over with it, shall we? What is it you would like to know? Strange. I mean, let's face it, Lord Von Zeeks never minces words. But they seem to have less spite than usual somehow.
BRB?
Right. Can you at least tell us your side of the story, Lord Von Zeeks? What happened? How much do you already know? We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small, rented room in Fredstone Street. And that you were found there by the police when they arrived at the scene, immediately arrested. We were told that there was nobody in the room and that some witnesses heard the gunshot. And you are very well informed. And there's really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened to myself. But the gunshot! Obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you? I'm not in the habit of shooting people I work alongside. I also heard the noise, however. Before I had the chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers. So doesn't actually know what happened. If I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with? I don't need to answer that. Oh?
Oh?
After all, you're not representing me. He's going to need a lawyer, though. Who's going to be representing you in court, Lord Von Zieks? Anyone other than you, I should imagine.
Would I be right in assuming that you have no representation as of yet?
Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know. But this is different. In my career, all the defendants I prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 6 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now.
I think that's the first time we got a number.
Yeah, I think so.
Surely not.
I assure you, no defense will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole. You didn't actually have anything to do with those people's death, did you? It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Believe me, no one wants to know the true identity of the killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I have the chance to uncover the truth about that. What does he mean by that? After the trial, Professor Hairbrain was supposed to go straight back to Germany, I thought. It's a letter to inform me of his safe arrival home. I arranged his passage by sea and rail. That's a relief, I must say. He should now be beyond the reach of the Reaper.
Because the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad. You mean?
Yes, so it seems. You stupid little Japanese friend, for example. You told me he was keeping in Japan while I inquired the other way. Yes, that's right. He's an opera now, happily working in Tokyo.
So Professor Hairbrain is safely back in Germany now.
He is. So, it appears our conversation has run dry. There was a 2-second silence, that's all. Well, in any event, if you excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you. I was wondering, Lord Von Zieks, if you like, I'd be happy to advocate for you. You trust me, don't you? Yes. I've heard you speak my name in court. I've seen how you treat people. So I'm quite sure that you would never have taken another life. It's just, my feelings can't be used as evidence in court of law, sadly. It's a very gracious offer. However, I trust no one. What? Not the police, not the jury, and not you Nipponese. But please! I have no intention of engaging in your services. Casteism is just too wide and deep, it seems. I appreciate if you don't visit again. Then neither of us will waste any more time. Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper. Find out more about Lord Von Zieks and what happened to Inspector Gregson. Alright. To the crime scene!
That's a fight that you have to
basically like Edward's trial in the first game.
Oh yeah, true. But you had to literally argue with this man. Let me defend you.
Yeah. This really is an out-of-way part of London. I doubt many people find their way back to the street. So this dust-ridden rented room is where it happened then.
So this is where poor Inspector Gregson lost his life.
Yes. And the police are already hard at work investigating, it seems. I don't see Mr. Sholmes anywhere, though. Perhaps its investigation has taken him elsewhere.
Oi! What you think you're doing there? Every one of the drawers gotta take right out and you can look underneath them all. I want this space off the ceiling check. Don't forget to look inside the chimney stack, too. Libby, ain't you gone on overlook the dough with the owners out of town?
Gina's obviously got some investigating techniques she wants everyone to adopt. Pouty.
Oh, you turned up at last. Mind you, I've been along myself.
Hello again, Gina.
Sholmes only just left. You're lucky I missed that. He went prancing around in there, pointing at stuff, flickering up and all, and just scampered.
Oh, he finished investigating already, you mean?
Yeah. He didn't stop to say nothing to no one. Not even me.
Gina, would you mind if we investigated too?
Listen, Odie. You're a lawyer, right?
Yeah? Why?
Well, you're not thinking of trying to help the Reaper bloke, are you?
Oh, poor Gina. She's never gonna forget, is she? That trial will haunt her forever.
Gina, if you don't mind me saying, if Lord Van Zeeks really is responsible for this crime, he will be dutifully and fairly judged in court.
I suppose you're right. Yeah. Go on then, Odie. Get investigating. I want to know the truth about what really happened here.
Thank you, Gina. Gina, what was Inspector Gregson doing out here in the first place?
That's what I want to know. It's what, a year since I got here on the click? That's when I decided to give up my diving and become a detective instead.
Oh yes, Mr. Sholmes twisted the inspector's arm to agree to take you in as an apprentice, didn't he?
Something like that, I think. Anyway, the point is, I didn't really know much about the boss till then. But it turns out, he's a bit of a legend in the yard.
Goodness, really?
They say it managed to solve some really tricky case, just like that.
He did?
Yep, and ever since then he started going to all sorts of investigations. It's always up on his own. Not one of them in the yard ever knows what the case is or what he's working on, apparently.
That's not how it's supposed to work, is it? So what's this legendary inspector doing in a dingy little room like this?
I know we're a lot to respect for the Reaper and all, but look at where it landed.
Respect for the Reaper? In what way?
I heard him say as much. I take my off after that fella, were his words.
Not how the general public feels, is it? Most people are terrified of the Reaper.
Yeah, the boss said exactly why I respected the bloke.
I didn't realize Gregson held the Reaper in such high regard.
Said something to me like and all. That I didn't need to worry about the Reaper, because he only goes after people who were bad. Did kind of set my mind at ease when he said that.
Right. What is this place then? Does anyone live here?
Apparently it's rent out by some cove called Huge Boone.
Huge Boone.
Is it
Is it
sort
Hugh
of-
or Hugh?
Yeah, I think it's Hugh Boone.
Hugh Boone.
Yeah, Hugh Boone is what, yeah.
Alright.
It's sort of a here today, gone tomorrow name, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what we call the unidentified person. We haven't been able to get in touch with him.
I see. Well, judging from the appearances, you have to say this place hasn't been lived in for a long time, if ever.
Right. All the lads for the yard piled down to get stuck in investigation. But there's so little here, no one knew what to do with themselves.
I do wonder.
Yes, Miss Susato?
Well, could it be that huge Boone is in fact Inspector Gregson himself?
What? How could that be?
Well, if he was investigating on his own, it's quite possible that it was in fact some kind of secret office of his.
I never considered that.
Nice work, Suze. You're actually following the line inquiry like that ourselves.
You are?
If you look around the room, you'll see there's a few things that hint at that.
We should really investigate this place in detail.
Also, for anybody learning the English language, English, I'm truly sorry. Because hearing Sophie pronouncing huge, and when it's actually supposed to be pronounced Hugh, it totally made me really angry. Because you look, because I look at someone trying to learn English, and I won't get mad at them, and they mistake that, and they say huge, and you look at them, no, you should be right, but unfortunately you're wrong. It's you.
I see that's where the poor inspector was found, over there.
Yeah, that's right. They said it was a single bullet that did him in. Apparently the bullet went right through and struck them candle trees on the wall.
Oh yes, it's been blown the candles apart completely.
And the gun he used on the floor is the Reaper's, ain't it? No to deny that.
What? Really?
How do you know that?
Take it easy! I don't know what to do with myself when you stare at me like that with those big white eyes! I'm only saying what I heard. I don't know much about the gun myself. But there's some bigwig lawman whatever says so. Why don't you ask him?
A bigwig lawyer man, is it?
Anyway, Fregno Street Mark was alongside the window there. There was some street seller just outside who caught the gunshot.
Oh, but I don't recall seeing anyone outside.
Yeah, they all been taken down to the yard for questioning, that's why. We're talking about the Yog's legendary inspector here after all. They'll be getting them grilling.
Do you think we might be able to speak with some of those street sellers ourselves?
I doubt it. The lot of y'all just want to know what you're snooping around and what be up for grilling and all.
So we can't interview the witnesses then. Shame. Let's start looking around.
This looks like some sort of notice board or something.
And it's absolutely covered in scraps of paper.
Mr. Naruhodo, look!
This, you mean, it's not Dot's report, isn't it?
And there are case notes here, and details of printed inmates.
Yes. In fact, there are all sorts of documents that only a detective could normally acquire. What on earth went down in this room?
Some old newspaper cuttings. And this one here.
Yes, the advertisement, you mean, to the red-headed leak? But why? What's that doing here?
Whoever occupied this room was clearly interested into some reason. Oh, it's a photograph stand. I suppose it must be a picture of one of the Inspector Gregson's family members. Huh?
What's the matter? Your eyes look like they're about to pop out of your head.
There! Look! Mr. Naruhodo, quickly!
Why do I feel like it's... Guys! Come on, man! Seriously.
Oh no, she took off her hat!
Of course she's familiar. We met her this morning. It's Miss Vigil.
This makes no sense. Why would there be a picture of Miss Virgil in here?
To be frank, I don't think we've ever been more stumped.
I'm sorry to say, I have no idea either.
Okay, actually now I want to see that picture. I can
eyebrows.
kind of see a Gregson in there. If this is supposed to be like a younger version of him, kind of deal. This is actually good.
Are you?
No, okay. Yeah, no, I think these are two different people then, at that point. Okay. I didn't know if, like, Gregson was just using a different name or something like that. Or, like, they were married, or there was an affair or something. I don't know, maybe. I'm theorizing in my head right now. An empty fireplace, it makes the room feel even colder than it would have been otherwise, doesn't it?
It's thick with dust. Look. I think it would be fair to say it has been used for a very long time.
In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely hardy in cold weather.
Or nobody lived here at all. Merely visit when the occasion arose. I wouldn't like to say which is more likely.
No, that's right. It's one or the other. Excuse me. Oh, Inspector. Oh, sir. Poor man. He can't possibly be able to focus on investigating when he's so upset. Excuse me. Sorry, sir. Can't see a thing, sir. Too many tears, sir. Right. Perhaps better if you were at work then.
First time reading that actually made me that come I got. Aww.
Yeah.
Again, too many tears. Oh, sorry.
Ever since we came in here earlier, I can't take my eyes off of this thing.
Oh, funny enough, neither can I.
It's a hairpiece, isn't it?
It is, it's...
Window screen. Okay.
a bright red hairpiece!
And I suppose the fact it's right here next to where the body was found means we have to accept that Inspector Gregson wore wigs, does he?
And in such a flame color red, too.
Yes, that color we come across recently elsewhere, isn't it?
Exactly. This is a vital clue, I'm sure of it.
Hair theories, let's go.
It comes back from Danganronpa 2 to strike back! I suppose this is where the victim...
That's right. The rose layer on the body shown exactly where it was found.
It's red herring!
Poor Inspector Gregson himself has already been taken away.
It would probably be under Dr. Sei's scalpel by now if it wasn't what happened last week.
From the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up in a ball. Are you feeling alright, Mr. Naruhodo? You look like you just seen a ghost.
I know it's just a rope, but, well, it conjures quite a lot of terrifying image, that's all. Especially when that bloodstain was right next to it.
Oh, I do understand. In some ways, what we picture in our minds can even be worse than reality.
Sato-san is strong, but she's taking this far better than I am. The top of the candle holder has been completely blown off.
Yes, there's wax splatter on the wall behind. Look.
I suppose the bullet hit it. It does seem likely that the bullet would hit the candle.
Having first passed through the inspector's body.
Now the wax on the wall just looks like blood to me. And, okay. Multiple things we can check out on you. Okay, that's just a magnifying glass one. 3D object.
Hair!
Okay, anything else? Alright, just that. I've always wondered what the underside of a hairpiece looks like.
It doesn't surprise me at all, Mr. Naruhodo. You always want to see what lies beneath, don't you?
I'm not sure that's quite how I would put it. You must use a lot of bird lime in order to keep it in place on your head. So it doesn't get blown off by a gust of wind, I mean.
That might be a little inconvenient when you want to take it off again, don't you think?
Right, that's it. That's okay.
Funny joke is funny.
Now this though. There's some black marks here. Look.
Yes, they look like some sort of scorch marks.
Perhaps the bullet struck the candle here. Do you think? It's the only candle that's cracked in half, it seems.
Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan. So I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about
Anything?
them.
That's the only thing on the candle, it seems.
good.
Okay.
Death.
Oh, what's this?
It would appear to be a little model policeman. It's rather charming, isn't it? In a way.
Seeing as it's on the floor here, do you think it belonged to Inspector Gregson?
It's a little hard to imagine Lord Fantique's playing with something like this.
Though now I am in my head thinking of it. It's only 8 centimeters tall. It could have fallen out of someone's pocket, I suppose. I think we should record it as evidence, just in case.
Yeah, I agree. It's rather delightful after all, in a way. Yay, free figureman!
Check out the gun as well. He's presumably the murder weapon then.
Oh my. It is real, I suppose.
I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan, I really know very little about them.
There's one way to know for sure, Mr. Naruhodo. Fire a shot.
No! If I did that, I'd look like a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. Slightly safer to just ask someone who might know, I think. I think this guy, oh. Someone's very haphazardly nailed those boards over the broken glass, haven't they? Couldn't even really call them a window anymore.
Well, if you remember the window in Mr. Natsume's room, it was totally blocked up with bricks. This one at least let some light in, you could say.
You could say nothing more about it. I'm starting to feel even more sorry for Mr. Natsume now. Okay, I think this person's the last one we got. Excuse me! If you're looking down from us for the great beyond, Inspector, don't worry. We'll look at the things beyond. I've interrupted some deep thoughts there. Just making sure the door doesn't have anything. Okay, so I think after we look at the 2 objects, we're ready to go. Nothing on the doll. Oh!
The helmet of this charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear.
I'm not convinced about the charming part, but yes, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly manhandled. Almost as if someone had enjoyed twisting it around for fun. Shall we try twisting it around too? For fun? What's that?
It appears to be some sort of key.
But it's so tiny though. It couldn't be a key for a door, not of that size. So what's it for, I wonder?
Pull the trigger, Naruhodo.
I suppose it must have been the murder weapon.
Oh my. Is it real, I suppose?
I think so. Guns are so rare. Wait, is this like... That's... Okay, I don't think we're gonna get anything more out of the gun. This way, yeah.
It's a gun! Bang!
Alright, making sure there's no new conversations with Gina. Okay, ready to move out!
I guess we go to the bigwigs.
Yep, I think so.
You've made good time.
I look and express train back to London.
Oh wait, Oh wait, I know who that was.
Okay. I can hear Lord Strongheart, can you?
Yes, it sounds as though he's talking to someone.
Is everything in place? I had a private compartment on the tray so I could check all the paperwork.
It's...
Kazuma-sama!
Ah, your timing is impeccable.
It is?
No doubt you have heard the sickening news about the Reaper's latest delivery. Devilry.
Yes.
I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Strongheart. That Lord Van Zeeks could have done such a thing to Inspector Gregson.
I believe only in the facts. And the facts in this case point to one thing. The unavoidable accuser of Lord Van Zeeks for his crime. We must bring charges against the Reaper for the life of our legendary.
Oh no, surely not.
It is a truly regrettable situation. Tomorrow, the forensic science symposium finally begins. At the very least, though, we can show the world our justice is a swift and
Equitable.
equitable process.
So does that mean the trial is tomorrow?
Precisely. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introduction.
Oh fuck, is Kazuma gonna be the prosecutor for this case? Is that what's going on? Kazuma.
Ah, but of course, you're already acquainted with him. Mr. Asoki here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings, leading the prosecution.
Ah, fuck!
Yeah?
Wait, what? Kazuma?
As I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of law.
Kazuma-sama, a prosecutor?
In that case, maybe I should take for Kazuma then at that point?
Nope, too late!
He's just standing there, menacingly!
I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no, people all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds.
There's no salvation for anyone in this trial prosecuted by the Reaper of the Bailey, and now the Reaper himself must stand in the dock.
Quite so. The public wants answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths.
But Lord Van Zeeks firmly denies any involvement of such matters.
There's no... And there have been thorough investigations that have proven him to be innocent.
That's certainly true. Or it has been, at least, until now. No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history.
Elephant in the room.
So, Kazuma's gonna be prosecuting tomorrow?
That's right.
But he's a defense lawyer, Lord Strongheart.
Accomplished young law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. And imagine what it would mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. A devastating combination, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. I have no doubt at all that Kazuma will be razor sharp as a prosecutor.
But why Kazuma-sama? There's surely many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain.
Are there models for them? Nope. Then we gotta use Kazuma. I'm sorry, nothing else.
It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned to the trial.
You asked for this, but why?
It'll all become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? Although, the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation.
I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented. Quite exceptional, in fact.
You are quite right, Miss Mikotoba. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the Empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as judiciary closing ranks.
So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution?
Ryunosuke. Let's see how your skills have been honed after practicing law in this land for so many months.
Kazuma, I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't gonna end well, my friend.
It took a bit for me because he doesn't have his headband.
Yeah.
It's so empty.
He traded the headband for that sweet outfit and neck scarf.
No, you see, the headband evolved into the to the neck scarf is what happened.
No. The headband evolved into the outfit. Look at him.
I don't think a headband can become an outfit. The entire thing. I think there's a few more steps in that process.
Now, see, the headband includes a constant wind.
Oh yes, we noticed that there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. Do you know if it belongs to Lord Von Zieks?
That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene.
Well, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me to ask somebody higher up who would know.
That's right, Mr. Naruhodo. Be direct.
Essentially a model that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors, I'm sure you can imagine.
In that case, it could actually have belonged to the victim.
No. Gregson had his gun on his person.
What about Lord Von Zieks?
He claims it's currently not in his possession.
What?
According to his story, he lost it. In short, it's more than a little suspicious.
But just because the gun in question is the same type as the defendant is no proof it's actually his.
No, of course not.
Nevertheless, the situation is grim for Lord Von Zieks.
You!
You! I'm sorry for all the worry I caused you, but it'll be all right now.
Has your memory completely returned?
Yes, completely. I remember everything, including what I was coming here to do.
Kazuma-sama, I can tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia?
It was the voice. This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly, say the same thing over and over. Go to London. That's where your destiny awaits. It was that voice that guided me here to London.
I'm so sorry for what happened.
Anyway, My memory might have returned to me, but there's something that won't return to the way it was before.
Huh? What do you mean?
I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon.
Like tomorrow, in fact. From it. Doesn't look like we're gonna glean much more here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart.
Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our empire's history. There's much you could learn for the public gallery.
Sorry to have taken up so much of your time. Well, we'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Before you go, Ryunosuke,
Oh, what is it, Kazuma?
I just wanted to thank you.
Kazuma-sama, what?
You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my steed. And you carried out my role to perfection.
You always were intent on studying Britain law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Naruhodo didn't want to die with you.
Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here.
Oh?
I actually have a favor to ask.
Which is...
This trial I'll be prosecuting tomorrow. I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me. As defense counsel!
What's this all about?
I know you have what it takes.
But Lord Von Zieks would never put his faith in my hands.
On the contrary, he recognizes your talent.
He does?
It's not easy to see behind... wait for it to catch up. There we go. Oh, wait. Alright, there we go.
Okay.
It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this.
That's
Lord Van Zieks and Inspector Gregson.
a photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the looks of it. And who's that third person? Yeah, that's his brother, isn't it? Man, it's weird seeing weird seeing Baroque smile. Weirdly enough, kind of deal.
It's untraumatized Batman.
Yeah.
It looks forced. It does! I mean, it looks forced! It was displayed very proudly in the detective's office.
In Gregson's office, you mean?
Yes. What I'm trying to say is, if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talking might makes him take a different view. Take it.
Mine.
I don't understand. Why are you giving me this?
Just hurry, Ryunosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over.
What are you doing, Kazuma? Hey, gotta convince a Reaper! Oh wait, wrong one! Wrong prison!
What are you doing back into my office?
Get out, please!
Get, I said never come back here, and you dare to come back.
Well, let's go, Mr. Sano, before you really catch us.
We took the wrong one.
Lord Von Zieks is still reading that letter.
By the way, Patrick, don't forget to drink.
Oh, don't worry, I am.
We've been gone for quite some time, though.
Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or he's incredibly long letter. I might be able to read the English faster than him. I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I cannot turn a deaf ear to such an insulting Nipponese. Oh, sorry, I didn't think you heard that.
I see you subtweeting.
I see the quote retweets. You think My timeline shows what the hell you like. You don't think I see you vent tweeting?
Wait, Lord Vazix, you followed me on Twitter?
Muted.
No, I follow someone else
I
that
follow
followed you on
I
Twitter.
follow that. I followed Gregson, who did follow you.
That for some reason shows up on my timeline.
I don't know. I
understand.
hate Twitter keeps doing that shit. And then I have the stupid people that just keep getting horny on main while I'm on the job, and God.
Listen, I get it. We're all into something, but can you please bookmark it?
Please, for the love of God, I just pull out my phone with my hollow chalice sometimes while you're going through cross-examinations, and then I have this one stupid person in the gallery saying, "Oh look, boobs on my phone," and then I throw the wine glass at him.
Can we get that image of Lord Vazix on his phone while drinking wine? It's just scrolling through Twitter while taking a sip of wine.
You know
and then
that's how he relaxes at home. He has that big old chair. He's got wine in one glass, and then he's got his phone in the other kind of deal.
He's just on Twitter. He sees some that same from work content, and then he throws his chalice at his phone.
He's got a waterproof case, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interview now.
Yeah. I had some case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time.
Yes, we heard of your trial set for tomorrow.
Which is none of your business. So, have you found a lawyer? How many times must I iterate the same thing? This has nothing to do with you. In other words, no.
We were just talking to Lord Strongheart, and the prosecution for your trial has been decided.
I expect nothing less, though I have no idea who it is. It's going to be Kazuma Asogi. Asogi!
Him.
That makes the color drain from his face.
That man is common.
Well then. It seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all.
It seems we're gonna have to block him on Twitter.
Considering the joke we set up last stream, this just makes this even funnier.
Well, Jason, I demand you keep that joke going in the trial tomorrow. I expect no less. I expect nothing less, my man.
This joke aged like fine wine.
If you weren't there for last stream, we had the entire joke while Asogi was right next to Lord Vazix. He just kept making snide remarks throughout the entire trial, sort of deal. And so, it's going to basically be the other way around. And I can't wait for it, sort of deal.
You're about to
Oh, boy.
throw the hands.
Hold on. Real fast. I'm a little bit Hold on real quick. My headphones got unplugged. I'm just trying to get them plugged back in. Oh my gosh, this really doesn't want to plug.
I didn't know it was Kazuma when I pushed the follow button at the time.
You see,
He was just going under the name Apprentice. I wanted to show my support.
Twitter has that stupid problem now where the follow and unfollow button colors have gotten reversed.
But I should have known. Any true connoisseur on Twitter always has dark mode on. It makes Twitter look better.
But nothing
but-
less.
But Kazuma has it set to light mode.
To
He
match
would.
his
He
stupid new
would.
color scheme that he has. 10 years ago, my older brother, who was the director of prosecutions at the time, was murdered. And the killer, as you know, is a visiting student from the Far East. Not a single day goes by when I don't curse his name, Asogi!
Genshin Asogi was Kazuma's father. Sama.
So what cruel twist of this is now 10 years later? The man's son to crucify me in some kangaroo court. Still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Kazuma to you. It's what he does. No doubt he knew the young man's true identity from the outset.
But what could he have been hoping to achieve?
Let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from his amnesia. Why would Strongheart assign him to someone to a trial like that? Sogi. That name is the very epitome of my bane. The bane at you Nipponese. Right, your hatred of all of us Japanese. I only just been appointed a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. My brother Clint, the director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer. The so-called professor. Assigned to the investigation as his partner was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard. And that was Genshin Asogi? Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous and serene to me. But none of us saw the true nature of that man. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, and any semblance of the right prevailing over wrong.
Oh, how awful.
To avenge my brother, I prosecuted in Asogi's trial. I wouldn't ordinarily be allowed, but I beleaguered the ascribed prosecutor until he consented.
What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor?
The man in charge of the professor case inquiry, Lord Mel Strongheart. Wait, what? Lord Strongheart? He was a highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the only person who I felt indebted to.
I'm sure he must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor.
Anyway, time passed, but then earlier this year, who shall arrive in London but you? And of all things, as a lawyer. I felt your animosity the first time I faced you in court. Your obvious deep loathing of us Japanese. I kept telling myself it was illogical. But for as many years as I festered the hatred inside of me, I could no longer control it. And I can understand why, now that I know the history. But in the same way that I long felt the Japanese to be the bane of my life, to Kazuma Asogi, I am the bane of his, the Reaper who sent the father to the gallows. He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in court tomorrow. Gregson's transfer to the Paris police prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month, but he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy. Oh yes, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he?
I wonder, does it happen often? Being transferred internationally, I mean.
It's the first time I've ever encountered it.
Oh?
The Paris police welcome the English detective is almost unconventional. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to pull that kind of arrangement into place. Sounds like a mystery as even the Reaper perplexed.
I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We heard that he was considered some of the legends of the Scotland Yard.
A again. It was 10 years ago that he made a name for himself by uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach in that case, the discovery would have never been made. What sort of approach? After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy.
Oh my, 10 years ago?
Why is that so surprising? Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time and was rarely performed. And my brother was of course a noble. That made the idea even more unthinkable. But something Gregson had dug up in his investigations made him determined it was necessary. His powerful conviction somehow influenced the House of Lords. As a result, I could revenge my brother's death. So, you must have had great confidence in the inspector's abilities then.
And it's even more inconceivable that you would have taken his life.
I don't have the confidence in anyone.
Oh,
And I'm sure Gregson felt the same way. I've no doubt he thought of me as the ominous Reaper, just like the rest of London. I got a picture that says, what really went on with Lord Von Zieks and Gregson, I wonder? What was the true nature of their relationship? About the gun used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene. Ah, yes. That is not mine. Really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is. What do you expect me to say to that?
Lord Strongheart informed us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm.
As embarrassing as it is to say, I'm afraid it's true. When did you lose it then? That, I don't know.
Oh?
I was issued a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose. Or left it somewhere, perhaps.
So he was issued a gun when he became a prosecutor.
But never chose to use it.
Yeah.
Well, I think especially considering the death of his brother, probably had a considering how his brother died, was very against killing anyone sort of deal, so... You know.
Yeah.
You have something in common with Lord Van Zieks after all, Mr. Naruhodo. A talent for misplacing things.
No, this has nothing to do with me! Don't drag me into it! Don't make the mistake of associating me with this, Nipponese!
Oh dear. The rift is very wide, isn't it?
So it's not decisive evidence, clearly, but it doesn't look good, that's for sure. Alright, let's show him that photo.
Remember when you were happy?
Lord Von Zieks, we came by this old photograph. Where did you get that? Excuse me. It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assumed it was a long shot. Is the man on the left there? Yes, that's my brother, Clint. It had to be, really. Apparently, this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know. Were you aware of that? Respect? That's nonsense! No. We've heard someone attest to it clearly. Inspector Gino Lestrade, no less. Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time when things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past, I think. Even as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle, an insight to the true nature of this man known to all as the stone-cold Reaper of the Bailey. first time he's ever used my actual name.
I've lost all confidence in this country's judicial system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. But there's still one thing I'm willing to believe in.
What's that?
That which you see the eyes of another come across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth.
The Lord Von Seeks?
From the very first time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year ago, I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wish I could. Here is a loathsome manipulator who has absolute integrity as a lawyer. There are only two other men I've known with the same look in their eyes. My brother Clint and Genshin Asogi.
The man he idolizes and the man he betrayed his trust in the most hideous way.
When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me.
You mean this photograph?
Back then, I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plague me now. I look to the future with hope. Since then, I protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at times, the mire into which I sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe.
I'm so sorry.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me?
Of course I will. It would be an honor.
I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodo.
Then my life is in your hands.
For Lord Von Zeeks, that must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask. Which is why I simply cannot let the man down. Tomorrow, the Old Bailey gets my old friend, Kazuma. Woo! Alright! Okay. Okay, alright.
So that did take 3 hours.
Yeah, so that timed out pretty well on that. But first, go. So, go back to title. Yeah. But before we get into discussion, there's one thing we must do really fast.
Let's just kill the mood entirely, shall we?
Come on, do it!
We're just getting this out of the way, and then we can discuss kind of deal, because I know people want to see this thing real fast, and then I will switch back. It's fine.
Do you like it?
Right out of an anime con.
Do you like it? I feel like a full-blown anime character now, Mr. Naruhodo.
This is right before tragedy struck, so no.
Why do you think I didn't want you to do it?
Yeah. Okay, alright. So let me turn that back off. Yeah, man. Wow. Was not expecting all of that to get dumped at once. You know.
The level of escalation just by this first part alone.
Which makes me really wonder, how's the very first part going to relate into all of this kind of deal? Because that feels so separate from the whole Gregson thing going down. The only link is being that photograph that's on the counter, so we gotta figure out the relations of that. But yeah, absolutely, Gregson being dead was the biggest shock of this part. Oh my god.
Thinking about it, Was there ever a main, aside from Mia, was there ever like a main Ace Attorney cast member that ever got murdered?
Straight up murdered? I don't think so at all. I guess, well, nah, I would say the one in Trials and Tribulations doesn't really count because they only appear in that one case, technically, so.
Like, a character, like, main Ace Attorney, a main character Ace Attorney,
No, I don't think so.
I can't really recall.
I guess we are no longer buying.
Yeah, we're no longer buying at all. Now we're slicing, because now
Well, I was thinking about like Investigations 1 or 2, and even those two games. I don't think there's like a major Ace Attorney character that they just like kill off.
So yeah, that was definitely the biggest shock by far. I am really curious about this next trial with Asogi being the prosecutor.
As soon as I figured out that was gonna happen, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. Oh, this is brilliant.
Considering how much I loved Asogi in court back in, case 1 of the first game, I can't wait to see the two of them fight each other in court now.
And considering how much Naruhodo has grown, that just made the entire idea even more fascinating.
This is a very interesting setup. Like, Greg's is dead, Asogi's the prosecutor, and Van Zeeks is the one being accused for the murder.
I mean, I would say Van Zeeks being the one on that's being accused is probably the least kind of big deal, because that just happened a lot in this series at this point, so but I still like it, but I will admit it is a little tiring at this point, because that arc has been done a lot, kind of deal, so.
I think that's kind of the only issue I can see for Van Zeek in general is that when you look at it, his character is very
It's very similar to Edgeworth and Blackwell in a lot of ways. So.
Oh yeah, this is the third time that they're doing it.
Yeah. So I would say that's my one kind of issue with Van Zeeks in this game so far would be that.
That particular reason is also, I think, the reason why I say he is indeed a good character, but I just prefer other characters over him.
I would say he's probably a 4th place right now for prosecutor. The ones I would put above him are Edgeworth, Blackwell, and Godot.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
Also, poor Gina!
Oh my god!
Gina!
Yeah.
Gina cannot catch a fucking break in this franchise, I swear to god.
It's like, oh look, Gina's happy! Oh, that's good for her. The very next case!
Okay, because I didn't know the direction this case was going at first. I thought when Gina came in that she was gonna say that Toby got killed, kind of deal. I was like, I swear to I swear to god, DGS, if you take that fucking dog away, I swear to god.
No. They're not gonna take the dog away from you, but they won't take the actual Toby away from you.
Unchip your detective. Congratulations, Gina. You're a main detective now. Have fun.
I'm not prepared for this. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Oh, but man, I am so excited for tomorrow's trial. I am so excited. For both that and for all the fucking jokes that are going to come out of this trial, because
I think we might be able to knock off the entire trial tomorrow, hopefully.
So another thing that's interesting is the fact that long-time Ace Attorney fan, you typically kind of just recognize the patterns about how cases are going, cases are going, especially in this game. So thinking about it, I was thinking, how is the judge for Japan going to be involved in this game?
Oh yeah.
How is how is he gonna be involved? How is Susano's father going to be involved? Because they're both
Definitely
here.
Susano's father.
Yeah, like it's just like you can't just place them both here and not use them. So what? So how are they going to be used here?
Oh man. I just want to play the trial tomorrow, like now, really bad. This game's got me so hooked at this point. My God,
Yes.
I have not felt this way about Ace Attorney Cinch Trials and Tribulations, man. I miss this feeling so much, kind of deal.
Like,
Again, considering how I felt about the first game, I really didn't think I'd be saying this about the sequel at all.
keep in mind they were doing this sequel's budget got cut in half, and it's clear that and they pretty much had to cut some content out of it. So the fact that they're able to pull this off is incredible.
Yeah. Brandon, I'm just gonna tell you now, I can't start at 5. Like I'm even kind of pushing it at 6, kind of deal, because of when I have to have dinner and stuff like that. But I think 3 hours should be able to get through the next trial.
Yeah. It's also a Friday, so I think we're safe.
Yeah,
with
we
that.
can go later if we need to on a Friday. So.
Also, I don't think we won't mind going longer with this game.
Like I can probably do like at most 3.5 hours, because unfortunately I do have to be at work on Saturday morning.
Ah, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try.
The latest I could go for tomorrow is till 10.
Okay. I know
But
that
I think we can finish it all like in 3 hours.
Like,
I know my family is planning on going out for dinner tomorrow. I'm just gonna try and maybe push if we can go out for dinner a little bit earlier so I can come back on time, kind of deal. But
Alright.
if at worst we would be starting at like 6:30 or something like that. But
Alright.
but yeah, that will do it tonight. Oh god. Tomorrow's stream is gonna be a treat, everyone. So I hope you guys enjoy it too. We'll see you then. Have a good night.
Prepare yourself for Prosecutor Asogi.
You are not ready.